Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome everybody to the first of the 2021 House Regulated Industries Committee. It's going to be a very simple day today. Introduce a couple of new members and old members to rehash everybody. And for the friends that are in attendance today, they might want to introduce themselves to the committee members. Y'all will be old news to most of the members. My name's Alan Powell. I chair this committee. Very grateful for that. And I'll just start out by introducing myself. I'm going on 32 years in the legislature. And I don't like to use the word senior citizen, but it's better to be senior than not. I do have a certain level of institutional knowledge, which may or may not be good for most of y'all out there. I'm not near as bad as a lot of people think I am, but depends on what the issues may be. This committee is a very important committee. The best that I can tell you is that we handle a lot of the legislation that impacts the business in this state. Not necessarily a lot of the minuscule parts of that, but in certain other things that we do authorize or expand their latitude to under the written law. This committee also has developed another unique quality, and this is to the members, that this committee handles issues that a lot of other committees don't feel that they can move it, hear it, because we do like to have dialogue and debate. We like to get into the substance of issues, not just the top dressing, but we get into the bottom line to it, into what's in the best interest of the people of Georgia. I'm from Hartwell, Georgia, the prettiest lake in the state of Georgia. As I tell people, the only error that we have up there is that when I look out of my deck every morning, I'm staring straight across to Clemson University. But the good news, I'm only 35 miles from the University of Georgia, but we're very blessed in Northeast Georgia for the lifestyle and for the people that we deal with. That being said, at this time, I'm going to introduce the committee members and let them say a word or two about themselves. And let us start on the end with Representative Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's an honor to be here and serve with you and the rest of the committee. From Milledgeville, Georgia, small business owner, and just glad to be here. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Jaspers.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's a pleasure to be here, pleasure to be on your committee and under your leadership. And, you know, we all learn from you. Hey, you're not supposed to laugh. It's true. And I think everybody in this room knows it. And we're all proud to be here with Chairman Powell and a very important committee. Absolutely. I'm just glad to be here and be part of it.
Thank you, Rick. And congratulations on your new chairmanship.
Thank you. Thank you,
Chairman
sir.
of Transportation. Mr. Williamson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Bruce Williamson. I represent Walton County. Been married to Vicki Williamson, also from Vicki Hearn Williamson from Monroe for 37 and a half years. I have 4 boys and I'm a small business owner.
All right. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Dale Washburn. I'm from Macon, District 141. I represent North Bibb County and South Monroe County. I've been in the real estate business for 45 years. Been married to my wife, Donna, for 45 years. We have 4 adult children. I'm honored to serve on this committee, and I'm especially honored to serve with Chairman Powell because he does have a lot of institutional knowledge and can teach us a lot. And I'm honored to have the opportunity to work closely with him. And I look forward to working with all the committee members and all of you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm Mike Walensky, House District 79, makes up all of Dunwoody, a little bit of Doraville, small piece of Chamblee. I married to Amy, married a few years less than these other two, it seems. Last terms, my second term, I got to serve on the judiciary, which sounds same manner and understanding as this committee. So I'm honored to serve on this committee as well. So thank you so much, Chairman.
And welcome as a new member. Number three.
Representative Carpenter, District 4, which is the city of Dalton in the south end of Whitfield County, small business guy, restaurant guy, and I am too honored to serve on this committee. It's a great look into a bunch of various businesses, but they all get back to the same thing, and it's opportunities for Georgians. And so it's a pleasure to serve on this and learn under your Jedi masterness.
Well, I've been called a lot of things, but I don't know about being a Jedi. I've been called a master at some things.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative Earhart, I represent Western Cobb County, Powder Springs, little bits of Ackworth, Kennesaw. Just a privilege to serve here. I'm a small business owner. Started a little business in my basement about 3.5 years ago. Now have 36 employees and a 12,000 square foot facility. So I am the beneficiary, I should say, of a lot of the fantastic legislation and pro-business legislation that's been passed in the state of Georgia in the past 5 years. Again, I want to echo the sentiments of some of the members and say what a phenomenal privilege it is to have the resource of Chairman Powell's institutional knowledge. We all benefit from it. Thank you.
Making me feel very queasy. Yes, sir. Derek.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For those who do not know me, I'm Derek Jackson. I represent District 64. Mr. Chairman, thank you for adding me to this committee. I always tell folks I share what I do know and learn what I don't. I'm a retired naval officer after 22 years, retired SWO, surface warfare officer, spec ops. And after I retired in 2005, Mr. Chairman, I know I don't look it, but I decided to go work for a company for 10 years. I'll just preserve their identity and just give you the initials, GE. And then I decided to return to service, and this is my third term.
Very good. And welcome to the committee. Mr. Mitchell.
Excuse me, my name is Billy Mitchell. I serve the 88th Legislative District, which is DeKalb County, Stone Mountain in particular. This is my 19th year in the legislature. Like the rest of my colleagues, I am proud to be able to serve on this very important committee. I also serve as the chairman of the Democratic Minority Caucus. Glad to be with you once again, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Billy. Good to see you. Well, number 10 then.
Yeah, there we go. Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's an honor to be on this committee with all of my colleagues. I'm Jay Collins. I'm a small business owner. I represent House District 68 over in West Georgia, the Temple Villa Rica community. I too have been married. That didn't work out.
Which time?
Numerous times. I appreciate the opportunity to serve. Being a small business owner, I know the very importance of this committee. I look forward to good things this year.
Thank you, Jay. Do we have any other members in attendance here? We've got several other members that aren't here today, but they'll be, you'll be getting to know them, to the two new members, and how they stand with the committee. First, I want to introduce the real heroes, the people that actually do all the work on this committee. First up is Jan Brown. She's the committee secretary. Jan. And for the two new members of the committee, you need to get to know her because she is absolutely the best that we've got. I mean, absolutely. She can guide you on constituent issues or anything else, and does a phenomenal job with this. Sean Marie Story is our legislative counsel. Wave at everybody, Sean Marie. She is an absolute jewel of a legal mind. Brian Groom. Where you at, Brian? Brian Groom. He is our analyst, and he's a senior policy analyst for us. He deals with only certain issues of the committee. He was drafted in 2.5 years ago when this committee was that we had been assigned the undertaking of evaluating the gaming industry and the possibilities of that in legislation. And he'll be working with us on that and a few other issues. And then as a new member of the staff here, Brian Hines is the policy analyst for the committee. Brian, wave at everybody. Now, next order of business. If you'll look, I think you've got some, I think Jan has passed out some packets, and I hope you've had a chance to look at the regulated industry committee rules. You should be looking at the 2019-2020 rules. And well, I've got the old one, but it's the same. Well, it's the same. She's already reprinted them. So you should see the committee rules. And if you have taken a minute to review these rules, these are the rules this committee will be functioning under. And at the proper time, the chair will take a recommendation. We have a motion. We have a second. Do we have any questions from any of the committee members about the rules to be adopted? If not, all in favor say aye. Opposed? And I thank you very much. So this committee is now duly constituted. Duly constituted. And that being said, that after this meeting is over, our two new members of the committee, if you would report to the Speaker's office and report to the Speaker that the House Committee on Regulated Industries has passed the rules. We've organized and ready to do business at his pleasure. All right. You should see, to the members, you should see in your packet some of the legislation. This is not a committee for the faint-hearted nor for single issues. We put the agenda that we had in the 2019-2020 session. This committee is noted historically for a few issues that we deal with. Gaming is one of them. Alcohol, tobacco. Alcohol is a very important issue in this state, and that's to be sure that it's controlled, properly taxed, so that it doesn't get out of hand the way it once did in the earlier part of this century. Certain things that stand historically in Georgia, and that's been the three-tier system, so that this business could be regulated in such a manner that it doesn't get out of hand. We regulate tobacco issues and handle the legislation pursuant to those. We handle industry matters, professional licensing. I'm trying to think off the top of my head just how many licensed professions there are in the state. 42. And I think there's licensing for a lot more, but we handle most of any of the issues that deal with these organizations and these professional licensing. That a lot of people will be coming to you that represent these folks, and you'll get to know them on a first name basis a lot of times. There's also a lot of other, there's probably several other regulated industries, licensed agencies that this committee has started dealing with. Last year, we dealt with the nurses issue last year that traditionally would have gone to the Health and Human Services Committee, but it came to this committee because it needed a fresh set of eyes. And remember what I just said, fresh set of eyes, because that's what we are. We look at things that other people are predisposed not to look at. The lottery. One of your duties of being a member of this committee, you're now a member of the of the House Lottery Oversight Committee. A lot of people didn't realize this for years. When the lottery was created, 28, 29, 30 years ago, there was a Lottery Oversight Committee that was established. In the early days, we met on that, in the old House Industry Committee, we did the oversight. And then for some reason, it kind of went by the wayside. Governors pretty well ran the Lottery Commission as their stepchild. And but the General Assembly, for some reason, didn't follow through upon that oversight as they should have. We reinstituted this 2 years ago, and we started having attendance by the lottery, the Georgia Lottery Corporation, and I presume that we'll be seeing legislation that will deal with them. Not only do they deal with the lottery, they deal with the COAM amusement machines. And we'll be talking a little bit more at a later date on that as we have presentations from those folks. Regulatory issues. That's the rule-making process for a lot of these. You'll see legislation will come to this committee about the creation of new licensure. You'll have legislation that comes before you that deals with changing the licensure procedures. And I would go ahead at this point, I'm going to go ahead and give all the committee members, again, and reinforce what you've heard me say in the past and to the new members. Make friends, make acquaintances with all of the people that represent these companies, but be very cautious not to commit yourself, because some of these issues are so technical that it might, on face value, when you're approached, it might seem like a good idea. But until you get into it and hear the dialogue and the debate and the historical reference to it, you don't need to make a commitment. You need to have an open mind on a lot of these issues. And that's all that I'll say on that matter. Now, that being said, we've got several members that you'll be seeing on a regular basis. And I want to start in that back corner over here on my left. Mr. Bowers, and there's some folks behind him. If you just step out, wave at the crowd, tell them who you are, tell them who you represent, and just say hello. Mr. Bowers.
We represent Anheuser-Busch and Grand Resorts Casinos, and look forward to continuing to work with this committee.
And would everybody give Amy a round of applause, because today is a very special day. This is her birthday. Mr. Bowers.
My name is Bruce Bowers. I represent Inland Pine. This one who I represent has got business in front of regulated industries. It's Golden Nugget Casinos and Golden Nugget Online.
Thank you, Bruce. Let's start at the back. Mike?
Mike Griffin, Georgia Baptist Mission Board, was 14 years.
And a very special friend of mine, former constituent. Gentlemen?
Paul Smith, with Citizen Impact, with Faith Organization, Network of Churches here in Georgia.
Very good. Good to have you here.
Castro Valley, Capital City Public Affairs, we represent our own American Tobacco, BetMGM, DraftKings, FanDuel, and the Craft Brewery Guild.
Mouthful. Yes, sir.
Tucker Green, I'm Fort Bruce Wine, I represent Dictionary Contractors.
Very good. Mr. Snyder.
I'm Rick Snyder, with Kimberly and Wilson. I represent the Georgia Music Operators. I work for the limousine taxing industry and work on some other matters with this committee. And I want all the committee with all the adulation they've given Chairman Powell. Every teacher has a good teacher. And you should remember that Tony Watson was the chairman of this committee, and he put Representative Powell how to be a chairman.
Thank you, Les. Virginia.
Hi, I'm Virginia Galloway. I'm with Faith and Freedom Coalition. This is my 15th year as lobbyist, and Faith is Faith and Freedom's lobbyist.
Bruce Widener, representing the Judiciary Association of Georgia. I also claim Alan Powell as my representative
one of East Lansing Music Extension. I also had the pleasure of representing the same district as Mr. Walensky. Yeah. This is my last year. I've been down here 49 years, trying to take my place. So this is the next time to see you.
Life on Lake Hartwell is good, isn't it? Mr. Martin.
Martin, George Lake Public Affairs, with some number of clients issued before this committee, most notably the Georgia Airline Wholesalers Home Delivery Company interest, and an issue of coin machines, Excel Thomas.
Very good. Mr. Robinson, I see you snuck in trying to bypass being recognized.
Roy Robinson, government relations. We represent a number of clients in front of this committee. I'll trio in one, but we came in with the Rush Street Interactive out of Chicago.
Mr. Pratt.
Mr. Chairman, members, I'm Dave Pratt. I'm with the Southern Group of Georgia. I represent a myriad of clients, and one that's specific to this committee probably is going to be gaming and leisure properties. Real estate investment trusts, investment and interested in gaming. And you'd be interested, Mr. Chairman, perhaps, you know, that was in the town of your district last weekend. Had a great time.
Very good.
Mr. Chairman, represent a number of clients. Specific to this committee is electrical, mechanical contractors, sheet metal contractors, the moving industry, and also I represent the mining industry. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your service.
Thanks, Lee. Mark.
Woodall, Associated General Contractors, who represent commercial buildings and subcontractors. This is my 25th year. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tyler Lewis, Teacher Government Relations. We represent American Institute of Architects.
And we have a couple of ladies over there. I can't see behind the post. Good. You're welcome. Do we have anyone else that was overlooked? I see a,
Chairman, Chuck McClellan, also with Department of Public Consulting, representing the resorts and
very good. To the committee members, if to the old members, as you can see, you can remember the diversity in the from the people that are here today, and there's a whole lot more that aren't here today. To the new members, very diverse committee. The subject matters that we hear cover practically everything that you can see. Even to the point that, as you notice with Virginia and Mike and the other gentlemen, we're also bringing the into the elements that have concerns about people's souls and that may how these issues may work with them. So you'll be certainly under scrutiny, and you'll be tugged on a lot of these issues. So again, I recommend to you make no commitments until you learn all the issues on this. I would say at this point that for the benefit of the committee, originally that we were going to show video today. We were going to have some of the members testify, but due to my failures as a chairman and not being very technologically oriented, I was told that the protocol wouldn't just let me call folks in. They had to be scrutinized and such like that. And we just didn't have the times to set this up either through the Zoom or through whatever the new protocol is of operations. So that being said, that starting at our next committee meeting, for the folks out there that would like to get a little bit more into depth about anything or any issues that they have, and then we're going to make that available to them for part of the committee meetings for the next few weeks, since that'll be the starting point. We'll have presentations from the gaming industry. We'll have presentations from the Lottery Commission. We'll have presentations from the COAM industry. We'll have presentations from the alcohol industry on all branches and levels, convenience store industry. And for the benefit of the committee, if y'all have someone particularly that you'd like to have up here to talk about their particular industry or whatever, if you'll let me know, then I'll see if we can secure those people to come up and also speak. Now, that being said, does any of the members have anything they'd like to say or to address the committee? Chairman Jaspers.
Can't pass it up, Mr. Chairman. I just want to recognize a gentleman from my community, Tucker Green, that's working with Bruce. It's his first official meeting and grew up in our county. Was on the school board, a rising star, and we just appreciate Tucker and just glad he's here.
Welcome, Tucker. You come with high marks. Oh, I'm sure you won't. Any other member?
Can we be heard?
At least I want to introduce our new vice chairman of the committee, Representative Washburn. Very honored to have him appointed to serve as the vice chair. Hopefully I'm not going to be absent, but if I am, I'd feel very good about the fact that he'd be presiding. And last but not least, our committee secretary, Ms. Earhart. Very nice. This committee has produced continuously over the years. This committee continues to produce more and more chairmen. I look across the board today and I see chairmen that have risen from the ranks, and hopefully that's because they have learned to serve on a committee that in fact we deal with a lot of the tough issues. And that's part of what you're elected to do, and that's to be tough and to deal with the issues that affect the people of this great state. Now, if there's nothing else, this meeting's now adjourned. Thank you so much for coming.